Hello friends, I am Mr. Sanjay K. Bhadke, presently working as an assistant professor at Department of Civil Engineering, Tulsiramji Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. Friends, today in our subject, that is Transportation Engineering 1, we are going to discuss about the our topic flexible pavement. We know in the last class we had discussed about the rigid pavements. We had discussed about the various joints which are applicable in the rigid pavement, and today we are going to discuss about the flexible pavements. So we know that everyone is familiar with the flexible pavements. All the pavements are road which are constructed with the help of bitumen material is called as the flexible pavement, and due to their desirable properties they can be called as the flexible pavement. So friends, you can see this picture, and here are the various machinery and machines those we are using for the construction of the flexible pavement. The material those who are using for this construction is the bitumen, and here we are doing the compaction of the road with the help of these machines. And in today's topics, our various contents are introduction to the flexible pavements, the various types of pavements, those are normally used for the transportation. Then we are going to discuss about the components of flexible pavement, various construction layer of flexible pavement. We are also going to discuss about the comparison of flexible and rigid pavement, and this is one of the important thing when we are going to study the transportation engineering. Then comparison between these two pavements is very important. We know that when we construct the flexible pavement, the initial construction cost of the flexible pavement is minimum, but is uh, maintenance cost is maximum. But in case of rigid pavement, its construction cost is maximum, but its maintenance cost is minimum. So that nowadays we are replacing all the flexible pavement with the help of rigid pavements. Now there is question of what is meant by the pavements. So here you can see these are the two pictures. Where in left side we can see the construction is going on for the flexible pavement, and in the right side the construction is going for the rigid pavement. So we can say that pavement is the load bearing and load distributor components of the structure. So when we are providing the flexible pavement, so in the case of flexible pavement, due to the flexibility of material, we have to construct the number of layers, supporting layers, and in case of a rigid pavement, we are providing a particular slab depth and slab thickness, so that we can get the strength of the material. Now what are the various purpose of the pavement? So we are providing the pavement. We know that various vehicles are moving on the pavement, so they are applying the various types of wheel load on the road surface. So for the following purpose are very important. Number one is the load support. We are doing any pavement, we are constructing any pavement for the load support. It should provide the smoothness. There should be the proper drainage property, so that there should not be any structural damage to the constructed pavement. All the pavement should be withdrawn in all weather operations, and there should be proper direction and guidance for the use of these pavements. We know that there are two types of pavement. Basically, number one is the flexible pavement, the construction with the bitumen or asphalt material, and second one is the rigid pavement, which we constructed with the help of concrete material or with the help of cement material. Now, what is flexible pavement? So in this diagram, you can see this construction. Here we are using the maximum layers of the bitumen material. So that type of construction is called as the flexible pavement. The flexible pavement are so named because the total pavement structure are deflect or the flex under the loading. A typical composed of the several layers of the material. We know that in case of flexible pavement, it is the property of this material those are using for this construction to deflect under the various loading, so that it can be called as the flexible pavement. Students, you can see this is the elevation and structures of the flexible pavement. So in case of flexible pavement, we are providing various layer to support the topmost surface. So the lastmost layer is the subgrade layer, which is called as the existing soil. By considering the existing depth of the material, we constructed this bottom layer, so it is called as the existing soil. The next most layer is the subbase course. It is optional. If there is any requirement, in that case we are providing this subbase course, or we can neglect this layer. After that, there is the base course. These base course are constructed with the help of various aggregates, with the help of various material. And last layer is the surface course. And at the topmost of the surface course, we are providing various bitumen material, so that it is possible to drive the various vehicles on this road without skidding and slippings. So you can see this is the load distribution in the flexible pavement, as the this is the called as a flexible pavement, because the various material those who are using for this construction is flexible. It can be deflect due to the wheel load, so that it is called as the flexible pavement. And here you can see when the various load is acting on the road surface, the how this surface is subjected to the flexure failure. And we can find this failure can be distributed uniformly. You can see in this picture we are providing various subgrade, subbase and base surfaces. Still, due to the heavy load, there is a deflection, and you can see this is the flexure failure of this pavement. Now we can move toward the structure of the rigid pavement. So in case of rigid pavement, we are also providing the various layers, that is sub base course layer, base course layer, surface course layer. And here topmost layer is the construction of the slab. We are providing a slab with a particular thickness. Here we are providing the various types of longitudinal joint and transverse joint to avoid the various temperature traces, longitudinal and transverse joint to avoid the various temperature traces. If it is possible to avoid the various temperature traces, so we can reduce the cracks, and once we reduce the cracks, we will get the long span of the structure. So this is all about the flexible pavement and rigid pavement. I hope you student you can understand the what is the basic difference between the various cross sections of the flexible pavement and rigid pavement. Now next point is load distribution of rigid pavement. So you can see this is the picture where the various wheel load has been shown, and in that case we have find how this load can be distributed on the rigid pavement. So here we can see this load can be distributed as per the uniformly distributed pattern. So when load is distributed like this, so there is a less damage to the structure. Now we are going to discuss about the various components of the flexible pavement. So these are the various components of the flexible pavement which are very important. So the first component is seal coat. The topmost coat is called as the seal coat. Then surface course is there, tack course is there, binder courses, prime coat, base course, sub base course, and subgrade course. So you can see in case of the flexible pavement, we are providing various layer. Once we are providing the various layer, we can get the large thickness, and still we know that there is a maximum failure in the flexible pavement due to the various desirable property of the material those we are using for the construction of the flexible pavement. So student, here you can see this is the one innermost portion and cross section of the flexible pavement, where we can see how this material can be deflected due to the heavy load, and we can see this is the flexure failure in the flexible pavement due to the heavy load which is applied with the various vehicles or various heavy vehicles those are using this flexible pavement. So here you can see in this portion there are various deflection we can find, and all this happen due to the heavy load, and this material will not support this heavy load, so that this type of failures is happen here. Student, now we are going to discuss about the subgrade. A subgrade is the compacted soil layer that form the foundation of the pavement system. It is also called as the formation level. Basically, before going to the construction of the flexible pavement, we have to construct the subgrade. If subgrade is constructed with the proper material, so we can reduce the failure of the flexible pavement or structure. Then what are the various points which come under the construction of the subgrade? Number one, removal of topsoil if not suitable for the subgrade or too much the level. So in many cases it has been found that the topmost soil is not suitable, so we can reduce it or we can add a new material there. And in some cases if topography is perfect, so in that case we have to provide the various type of cutting and filling of the materials. Then next point is the removal of vegetations and other harmful material. Lay down the soil in layers of 260 mm, compactions of layer, then future layer of soil and compactions of layer. So these are the various construction of the subgrade, and these are the various point which come under the construction of subgrades. So subgrade is also very important due to the at the point of construction of the flexible pavement. If subgrade is constructed properly, so in that case we can reduce the various failure in the construction material or flexible pavement. So student, here you can see how we can prepare the subgrade, and here you can see that we are using various types of aggregate, big stone and red colors murum for the preparation of the subgrade. Once we constructed this subgrade, we are compacted it with the help of a machinery and a roller, and we also cured it so that we will get a best foundation, and we can reduce the future damage in the structure. So you can see this is the photo which has been taken from the actual site, and here you can see how construction is going on. The next point is the sub-base course. It is a layer of granular material provided above the subgrade, generally natural gravel. it is usually not provided on the subgrade or good quality. Once we provided the subgrade, after that which layer we are providing, that layer is called as the sub base course. And by using the various types of murum and by using the various type of small type of aggregate or medium type of aggregate, we are constructing this sub base course. What are the various points which come under the sub-base course? Is sub-base layer is constructed on the top of the prepared subgrade. The sub-base material is spread to uniform thickness and specific cross slope. The moisture content of the material is checked and additional quantity of water required to bring up to the optimum moisture content is spring at uniform rate. The loose up base layer is compacted by the layer. So every layer which we constructed, it should be compacted. Without compacted, we will not get the strength of the sub base course or any other courses. Now this is one of the picture which is we have taken from the site. Here you can see how this sub base course can be prepared. So in the first portion you can see there is the various layer has been prepared with the help of soil, with the help of clay, various stone materials. And in second layer you can see one man has given the covering to this sub-base course, so that we can get a proper strength which is required for the construction of the flexible pavement. Now construction of the base course. This is the layer directly below the subsurface and generally consists of the aggregate. So student, you can remember one thing, base course is the best layer where we are providing the proper and quality aggregate to avoid the various type of deflection in the flexible pavement. And here you can see this layer is called as the base layer, where we are providing various types of aggregate which are mixed with the cement. And here this aggregate will be provided with the some thickness, and this is the methodology for the preparation of the base course. Nowadays we are using this high profiles machine for the construction of this base courses. Prime course, it may be called as the topmost, not exactly the topmost, but below the topmost course we are providing the prime coat, and it is a low viscous bitumen with an emulsion of 60%. And it also the addition of kerosene, the 40% kerosene can be added in this bitumen to provide the prime coat. So this is the initial layer which we are providing, and the topper side of the flexible pavement. After this prime coat, we are providing the binder courses, and this layer is provide the bulk of the asphalt structure. Its main purpose is to distribute the load. So we know after the prime coat we are providing a various asphalt material with a proper thickness which can be recommended by the IRC. And it's having the one important purpose, that the load which is coming on the surface can be distributed properly to the soil, so that there not be any deflection in the material. This is the picture where you can see this is the preparation of the binder course, and this type of high profile machines we are using for the construction of this type of binder course. Now tack coat. So I can understand all this picture, those are those we are seeing here. So actually when any construction is going on, so I hope that you have gone through this. So this is called as the tack coat. It is a high viscous bituminous material. Here it is a 100% bitumen material. It never contain any part of kerosene or any other material. So you can say this is the 100% pure material those we are using for the tack coat. So here you can see how this stack code has been constructed, and it is very important that every time we should compacted all this layer so that there will be the proper compaction and we can avoid the various types of damage to the flexible pavement. And the final is the surface course. The surface course is the layer in contact with the traffic load and normally contain the highest quality of material. We know that many times we are finding various types of crack, various type of small dug on the surface course, and due to this there may be the chances of the various types of accident. So there should not be any type of accident. All the road user driver, they should drive their vehicle safely, smoothly and comfortably on the road, so that we are providing the surface course, and this surface course should have a very highest quality of the material, so that we cannot find any type of damage there. So here, this is the actual photo, and student, here you can see how this surface course has been managed. Here we can see a horizontal type of course has been provided for the motions of the vehicle, and this type of course are provided due to the topography, or if in many cases if straight alignment is not possible, so in that case we are providing this type of horizontal curve. So you can see this type of construction is called as the surface core, and for the better quality we are always using the best type of material for the construction of surface course. Seal coat, this is the final most course, and it is the asphalt water mixture to the seal crack on the surface layer. And we know this is very important that we should provide the seal coat, so we can say that it is very smooth, and it is the final layer which provide the good elevation and appearance to the road. And it is we can say now this road is ready to for the road user, and they can drive their vehicles smoothly and comfortably on this road. So student, today we have discussed about the various requirements of flexible pavement. We know that in our India, we have constructed many road. We have the state highway, national highway, major district road, other district road, and village roads. So all in all this construction, we are using the flexible pavements. You can take an example of the Mumbai-Pune Express Highway. It has been constructed with the help of flexible pavement, but nowadays we are replacing all that flexible pavements with the rigid pavement. And we know that due to this it is possible that one can drive from Mumbai to Pune in 3 hours. So if we have a very good quality of roads, so we will get comfort, we can drive on the safety, and we can minimize the our journey time. So it is very important that we should use the proper type of construction. But in case of flexible pavement, we know that its initial cost of construction is low, but its maintenance cost is high, and its overall lifespan is 15 years. But if we are taking an example of the rigid pavement, so in case of rigid pavement, we are providing a slab with a proper thickness. Its construction cost is more, but its maintenance cost is less. And if you think about the its lifespan, so its lifespan can be technically considered as a 30 years, means 15 years more than the flexible pavement. So that due to the lifespan and less maintenance cost, we are trying to replace all our flexible pavement with the help of the rigid pavement. And student, I hope you can understand today's concept of the flexible pavement. We have seen various layer, how this layer can be constructed, which type of material we are using for the construction of the road. And I hope in last class we have discussed about the rigid pavement. Now we are discuss about the flexible pavement, and this way you can differentiate the flexible pavement and rigid pavement. Thank you very much. In next class, we will come with the next topic. Thank you.